In this video, we're going to have a look at the organisation settings within Gearlog. Organisations enable you both to organise your users, particularly when you have a large number of users, to make them easier to manage, but also can be used to control access to what equipment your users can see. Let's start with the settings and then look at how we can use them to control access. To access your organisations, settings, and then organisations. Let's just get familiar with this page for a moment. At the top, we have a filter panel, which lets us decide how we want to see our organisations. Do we want to see them indented or nested? Let's add another organisation to show how this works. We'll create an organisation called Climbing Instructors, and we'll file that underneath our activity instructions. We see now we have a second organisation added, and using our filter options, switching between indented and nested allows us to affect how that's displayed. Using nested is generally better when you've got a large number of organisations in a complex tree. One other very important setting before you can fully make use of organisations is on your account page. First of all, head over to your profile, and the setting you're looking for is this one here. Lock your organisations for your user accounts to a list. With that set to no, organisation names on user accounts are simply free text that you type. If you want to use those organisations that you've structured carefully on your settings, then make sure on your profile you edit this and set it to yes, as it is now on the screen. Returning back to our organisations, now that we've got the organisations in place, we can use those on our user accounts to state which organisation each user belongs to, and also use them to control access. We have a whole video on user account settings for you to go and have a look at, but let's just look quickly at how you set the organisation on a user. Head to Settings and User Accounts, open up any of your users, and as you scroll down, you'll be able to see the organisation that they belong to. Edit the user if you want, and change that organisation to reflect their place in your organisational hierarchy. Correspondingly, when we're looking at all our user accounts together, you'll see they're grouped and organised by the organisation that they're part of. Again, have a look at our video on user accounts to see more about how organisations are used on the user account itself. Let's also look now at how we can use organisations on our equipment records. If we head over to the equipment page and just select one piece of equipment as an example, if we edit this piece of equipment, we can scroll down, and into its identification section, we can allocate it to an organisation. For example, we could allocate this piece of equipment to the organisation Activity Instructors. By default, that really just states that this organisation, Activity Instructors, owns this piece of equipment. You can also set up the platform so that users are then forced to only be able to see equipment that lies inside their organisations. This is a direct counterpart to how, from our previous videos, you've seen we can also use the Sites tool to store information at a site and to say that only users who work at that site can use it. So we can use organisations similarly to say which parts of the business own a piece of equipment and thus which users can access it. Just to look at where that setting is again on the user accounts. So once equipment has been assigned to an organisation, when we're looking at our users, let's add a new one just to give an example. Scroll down and find the organisation settings within that. We see here we can state the user's primary organisation, make it Activity Instructors in this example. And here we see this very important option which follows: the user's organisations limit what gear they can see. If we set this to yes, the user will only be able to see equipment in the same organisation as them. With it set to no, that user will be filed underneath that part of the organisation, but it won't have any effect on limiting the equipment we can see. Hopefully that video has been useful for you, and just to recap very quickly, we looked at 3 things there. On the settings menu, we looked at where your organisations are, how to add them and how to structure them. On the user accounts, we looked at how to assign users to organisations, and over on the equipment page, we looked at how we can edit edit a piece of equipment and set its organisation. Don't forget also the setting on your profile, which will enable you to make sure that list of organisations is what's used to drive your account. Any questions with organisations or user accounts generally, as always, drop us an email, info@gearlog.org.